say these wounds. Old men forget, yet all shall be forgotten. For he today who sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. Got a question for you. Who's got it better than us? Nobody! You tell her.
Welcome to the Big House of CFB Nation. How are you? I'm Andy, and we're back again with another episode. So let's get right into it. We finally have some portal updates. Now, Michigan was able to grab 4 guys in the portal in the defense, guys that definitely are going to help out with the depth. Let's go in depth about each one. The first one is cornerback Amir Hall. He is 6'1", 201 pounds, has good size for the position. Now, he comes in as a grad transfer. He spent 3 years at Richmond. Then he went to Albany this past season. He absolutely blossomed. He played 975 snaps, 785 of them at the boundary corner position, 77 special team snaps. He plays both sides at corner, so I do like that versatility. He had 57 tackles, 5 interceptions, 12 pass deflections. He did allow 4 touchdowns and had a 62% catch rate. He did have a 73% passing rating allowed, but he was an FCS All-American. Now, for his career, and this is an important stat that I wanted to look at, he has 266 special team snaps with only 1 penalty. So he's going to be a great addition for depth, and I think he plays right away on special teams. You're not going to ask him to play a big amount of snaps. He's not going to be playing during crucial Big Ten moments or regular season moments unless there's some injuries, and we can't foresee that. But he's simply brought in as a depth piece. Michigan needed to add bodies. They did that to the position, and he provides nice depth that I do like. He does have a lot of experience. He plays special teams, and I think he is going to be someone that plays in mop-up duty. You know, they have Fresno State, they have Arkansas State. They do have a couple of easy non-con games that I think Michigan will have a big lead into the second half where they're going to rest their stars, and then he'll be one of the players to kind of come in and play. And he is liking this because he is transferring up to a prestigious university like Michigan for his final season to get some playing time. Now, the next guy that I want to talk about is cornerback Ricky Johnson. He is 6'1", 180 pounds. He played 4 years at UNLV. He does have his COVID eligibility, so that's why he's still here. Now, this past season, he played 522 snaps, 446 of them at the boundary cornerback position, 73 snaps on special teams. Now, it's kind of a mixed bag with him this past season. He started 7 games, had 35 tackles, 6 pass deflections, allowed 64.1% catch rate. His best season was in 2001. And that season, he was very good in coverage, had active hands as a corner, very good ball skills, and he struggled the past 2 seasons. He did lose his starting job during the season. He's going to be someone that I think will be a factor in the special teams. I think he might be one of those gunners, kind of play his part there and add some more important depth to the position. I really do like these 2 guys that they brought in from the portal. These are just 1-year guys. They are just simply added depth pieces and special teams kind of positions. You know, you're not going to ask these guys to line up opposite Will Johnson. You know, these guys are going to be asked to come in, fit in with the program, play special teams, and kind of come in during blowouts, be good teammates, just kind of be that rah guy. You always need those, and those 2 definitely fit in to a position of need. Now, speaking of position of need, Michigan went and grabbed 2 safeties from the portal. The first one is Wesley Walker. He is 6'1", 200 pounds. He's a 3-year starter, began his career at Georgia Tech, spent the past 2 seasons at Tennessee. He initially transferred to Louisville before deciding to flip over to Michigan. Michigan. Now, he's a very versatile player. He played the slot corner, played strong safety, and free safety. He is someone that you can line up everywhere, and he is a good enough all around athlete and a good enough all around defender that he can play those positions and not be lost. Now, he did find his home at free safety this past season. He started every single game for the Vols. He helped clean up the backside for the Vols this past season. Played 636 snaps, 399 at free safety. He did play 133 snaps in the box. So I do like that he is someone that will help contribute into the run game. He is not afraid to kind of get dirty, put his helmet on bigger guys. And then he had 97 snaps out of the slot. Now, overall for the season, he had 42 tackles. He did have a sack, 2 hurries, 2 pass deflections. And I do like his versatility with his experience. He has over 500 snaps in the past 4 years. And that's really all you can ask for at this stage in the portal. Now, I think he comes in and provides added depth. His versatility will come in handy with Wink Martindale's system. His experience will be helpful to cover any deficiencies that they might have in the secondary. I think he'll compete for the other safety position, but I think the guy that wins the job is going to be the final guy that we're talking about. And that is Jaden Mangum. He's 6'2", 175 pounds, is a 2-year player for Michigan State, and he was a full-time starter last year at free safety. He's got 2 years of eligibility remaining. Now, as a recruit, he was a 4-star in the composite, so he was someone that was viewed pretty highly. He was categorized as an athlete. He was the 8th-ranked athlete in the class and ranked 301st overall for the entire class. Now, he had offers from Penn State, Alabama, Michigan, and Notre Dame before committing to Michigan State. Now, this past season, he started 10 out of 11 games. He played 606 snaps. He had 45 tackles, 2 hurries, 4 interceptions, a pass deflection, and he only allowed 2 touchdowns. He's very good in the run game. This is a guy, when I'm watching his tape, he is not afraid to put his body into these bigger guys. He will take on an offense lineman that's 300 pounds. Might not be smart, but he's willing to do so because he loves the game, loves being on defense. He is someone that will do whatever it takes to help his team, and he's a physical player for his size and his weight, being under 200 pounds. Now, because he's willing to fight in the trenches and support in the run game, I really do think that is a good addition to the team. Also, with him having 2 years left of eligibility, you kind of want him to get in there early, gain some experience, get that kind of role in Wink Martindale's system, which I think he should absolutely thrive in. I expect him to win the job over Quentin Johnson, and he'll pair with Makari Page. Now, being that exciting player that has the skills needed to be molded still, I trust this coaching staff to kind of develop Mangum and play an important part in the secondary. Now, you got to remember, this coaching staff, it's got a lot of coordinating experience. So they have a lot of teaching experience on hand. They're able to kind of teach and mold players in different ways. They might have one coach that's more stern, another coach that can kind of, teach them how to play in other aspects and not be so stern. Just depending on how a player reacts to certain kind of coaching, they can kind of approach that from all different sides and angles. And I really do like that. Now, the safety spot was the biggest concern for me coming in, and head coach Sharon Moore absolutely went in and crushed it. He secured the secondary with these 4 portal additions. The safety spot is secured, and I think come back with Makari Page, and then I'm hoping Mangum gets the job, but any one of these 2 guys to kind of shore up that secondary. Now, with Walker, he brings that experience. He also gives you that versatility. He's been around for 4 years now. But Mangum, he's got that athleticism that I really like. He is a willingness, kind of a guy to support the run defense. And I think he's got a high ceiling. I think if he can get in there, kind of learn the playbook, kind of, be that gym rat that the coaches love, I think he'll be the guy at the end of the day. But at the end, it's a fantastic weekend of portal additions for the Wolverines. Now, the next topic is the Michigan Stadium Big House. They will begin selling alcohol. I think it's a trend that we've seen in many stadiums, and it should be a good addition for the concessions, bring in extra revenue, and hopefully they'll make some Irish coffee for those home games in November because it'll get quite chilly there. Now let's get into our player talk. And the player that I want to talk about today is Khalil Mullings. I kind of want to break him down a little bit. We've been kind of talking about the running backs the past couple of weeks, so I want to continue to kind of get on that trend and talk about that next guy in the room. Now, he is 6'2, 239 pounds. He is a converted linebacker. Now, they decided to switch him from the defense to the offense when he was essentially getting buried on that depth chart on defense. He wasn't getting any snaps, wasn't getting any practice time. So they figured, let's move him to the offense. Let's give him some reps, see what he can do. And they liked what they saw, and they switched him full time at running back. Now, this past season, he had 36 carries, 222 yards, and a touchdown. He is someone that's a good, powerful runner. I think he does best at short yardage area, kind of touches like a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1. He's got a very good contact balance. He welcomes that contact with that, defense background. Now, he doesn't go down after the first contact. He averaged 4.14 yards after contact per carry, and 17 of his 36 carries resulted in first downs. That just goes to show, if it's 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, you kind of want to give Donovan Edwards a break. You bring that bulldozer in, he'll get you 4 yards when there's only 2 yards available. I think that's his main attribute and his best asset. Now, he will start the season as the RB2. He is the Thunder to Donovan Edwards' Lightning. He should definitely be that short yardage back to begin the season, and I would absolutely love if they had Alex Orji, Khalil Mullings, and Donovan Edwards all together on the field at the same time, create some chaos for the defenses, call play action, and have Orgy throw it over the top for a big play for the receivers. I think Mullings is categorized as a gatekeeper, and I say that in the best possible light. I know that term is kind of frowned upon I know like in MMA and UFC, being a gatekeeper, that's kind of a notion to be frowned upon. But for me, when I describe that, he is the RB2. If you are able to surpass him, then you get that job. But until you're able to, you're not going to be the main backup. And I think with Mullings, he brings a strong case for the RB2 with that versatility, with that strong, defensive background as someone that's going to be a battering ram. Now, we saw Benjamin Hall not be able to overtake Mullings, and Hall is just simply a death piece. We saw that they ran him out there in the spring game. They gave him 12 plus carries, didn't care. They took care of Mullings, they took care of Donovan Edwards. They didn't want to get them hurt. They didn't care about Ben Hall. It was like, run it 12 times, run it 15 times, do whatever you want. And so I think if you're not able to surpass him, you kind of fall into the back of the rotation. And we see that with Ben Hall. Now, with Jordan Marshall coming in, he comes in this summer. I think he'll be able to prove that he's better than the RB2, but it won't be right away. I don't think the coaching staff will put him in week 2 against Texas for a bulk of carries. I think week 2 in Texas, you're going to see the majority being Donovan Edwards and Mullings carrying the rock. But the other non-con games, the early Big Ten games, I think there's a chance for Jordan Marshall to kind of prove his worth to the team. And I think eventually by the end of the season, he'll overtake Mullings, but I do think it will take some time. Now, what should we expect for the upcoming season? Now, the best case scenario is Mullings is used for those short area yardage, and Marshall develops into that second half kind of a runner and a player that everybody is excited for in 2025. So I do think that this running back room, while it lacks the bell cow of a Blake Corum, I think it's a very exciting group. I think Donovan Edwards is a very electric player. I think he's going to have a breakout season. He's going to have the season that we've been all waiting for. I think Mullins, he's going to gain those hard yards that they need. If Alex Orji is the starter, having Orji and Mullins back there, I mean, we're talking about nearly 500 pounds of mass from the quarterback to the running back, and that'll get you 2 yards every time. I don't care if it's 5 new offensive linemen in there, they'll get you 2 yards. Now, we have come to the point of the show where we are talking about our throwback player of the day, and today is going to be Cato June, a Wolverine from 1998 to 2002. He initially came in as a corner. They asked him to move to safety, and if people remember, he was the reason why Justin Fargas eventually transferred. Now, in 2000, Cato June was preparing for the season, and he tore his ACL. The Wolverines lacked the depth, and there was no such thing as the portal transfer back then. They asked Justin Fargas, who was third in the running back depth, to move over to play defense because he is a very athletic player, if you guys remember him. So he would play safety for the remainder of the season. Cato June would come back the very next season, and Justin Fargas would head out and transfer to USC, where he would be closer to home and he would get to play his natural position at running back. Now, when June did return the following year, he had a pretty good season and he had a really good career. Now, for his career, he had 138 tackles, 10 of them for losses. He did have 6 sacks, 8 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, 4 forced fumbles, 3 of them are recovered. He would be a 6th-round pick in the 2003 NFL Draft, selected 198th overall to the Indianapolis Colts. Now, the Colts would move him to weak side linebacker to use his athletic style play in space to be that off-ball linebacker and roam around at the second level. Now, June excelled in that role. He would go on to play 7 seasons, would have 504 tackles, 12 interceptions, 26 pass deflections, 3 forced fumbles, 2 touchdowns, including he would be a Pro Bowler and a Super Bowl champion. Now, that is our conclusion of our episode. I want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of Welcome to the Big House. A special thank you to Dwight Peoples for the intro, Nino Brown for producing me, the entire CFB Nation family. Until next week, who's got better than the CFB Nation?
Got a question for you. Who's got it better than us? No!